Today is Independent Record Store Day, and it's the day when the whole world gets together to celebrate the beautiful phenomenon that is independent record stores. It's a cultural hub. It's a place where you go to find out what's the latest hot music from around the world at Conch, which is our local place to go and hang out and check out music here in Auckland, New Zealand, and I really respect that place for providing us with the venue for us to exchange ideas and get inspired.
I kind of ended up out here in about '88. It was a little bit scary when I first got out here, to be honest, musically. It was a lot of kind of white boy electronica, so a lot of sort of synth pop. Most of the sort of black orientated music, I guess, was kind of, for me anyway, seemed to be sort of more centered toward island clubs, which were predominantly sort of, you know, full of Polynesians. And there didn't seem to be a huge mix. Maybe that's just my ignorance, but, you know, from an outsider's point of view, that's sort of how I found it. I'd like to think about blowing my own trumpet. You know, I definitely sort of played a lot of things that people hadn't heard before. For me, it was more about trying to wake people on up to being able to throw everything in the mix. You know, that kind of early sort of Balearic attitude of the sort of late 80s. And I love New Zealand. You know, I find people a lot more open-minded out here, a lot more open. It's a lot easier to meet people. Musically, they're much more influenced, I would say, by the States rather than the UK. Maybe that's changing a little bit, but initially when I got on out here, I'd say it was a lot more, especially radio. Reggae is still probably the domineering musical genre that rules the nation to a certain extent, closely followed by hip-hop, R&B. When I first got here, I found it quite hard to find a lot of New Zealand music that I actually really kind of dug myself. But I guess there's a lot more people making music nowadays, so there's a lot more stuff coming out of it in New Zealand that really sort of turns me on. Kiwis definitely well supportive of, you know, their local heroes. I mean, our biggest sellers, to be honest, have always been local releases. And it's really good also, you know, we're the kind of shop that maybe attracts quite a lot of tourists. Yeah. So due to that, it's really good having sort of stuff that I can throw into sort of tourist hands to sort of help promote, you know, sort of local flavours.